flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Burke. Graham. Here. Lays. Miller. McGrath. Here. Heller. Sullivan.
Here. Okay, and that's over. We start every meeting with 207's best. And so we will start with Maine East. Mike.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce Maine East's nominee for Outstanding Academic Achievement this month is our honor student, Ray Roman. Please have a stand. Ray has a GPA of 4.8049, so that places him very easily in the top 1% of our senior class. As a member of the Gifted Lyceum program, current schedule includes AP Lit and Comp, AP Psych, AP Calc BC, AP Bio, and AP Spanish Language. Prior to this year, he was a successful student in AP Language and Comp, and AP US History, AP European History, in addition to a whole hassle of accelerated classes. He's also, so clearly academically, he's really stretched himself, and I'll talk a little bit more about how he's stretching himself, but really setting the bar and jumping over it himself in terms of what he's done in some of these AP classes. But he's also, I think, unique because he has been really so outstanding academically. He's also been involved in a number of clubs, activities, organizations. He's sort of all things written and spoken language. That's really a forte for him. And these are things that have, they require quite a time commitment of the student. And a lot of times, my experience has been, while students may be really, really very strong, you sometimes see that performance slip just a little bit because of the intense time demands. And that doesn't seem to be the issue, or I think all of us have a hard time imagining how the academic achievement would be even higher if you weren't doing those things. But he's been very active in the drama program at East. He's been in the musicals, the V-shows, straight plays, member of the speech team, the math team. Some of you may remember the very first October board meeting when we had 207's best. We also were recognizing the NCATE honored students in terms of kids that got national recognition in terms of the achievement awards in writing. And Ray was here that night as well, and was sort of called out by our 207's best that night. Because he also has volunteered quite a bit for the Lyceum program. He's still very active as a volunteer at the hospice program. Judy Tyler, who is director of the Gifted program, talked about the fact that Ray is always one of the very first to volunteer and does a fabulous job giving 110% in just about everything he does. I think the consensus among Ray's teachers, past and present, is he's just an exceptional student, really noteworthy in careers that have spanned 20, 25, 30 plus years in teaching. I hear the exemplars in terms of the brightest, the best, the most conscientious, these sorts of things. Mark Dobner is the AP Calc BC teacher, indicated that Ray is earning a top overall average in the class, and he scored, quote, an unbelievable 98% on his final exam. Julie Basil is our AP biology teacher, and I'm going to read a little bit from her. She commented that she's known Ray since his freshman year when she taught accelerated bio. And she said, I knew that this gifted young man was truly one in a million. I've been teaching for 17 years and have not had a student perform so well in AP Biology until Ray Roman. He's currently enrolled in my AP Biology classes and is earning a 97% in this rigorous course. This is, all caps, not normal. Even better than all caps, or not even all caps, better than normal. I'm nearly at a loss for words as to how to describe how academically talented this young man is. I know he and Ms. Tyler both teach AP Bio, and as we were approaching winter break and first semester, Ray, as I understand it, organized review sessions for the class before big exams. Right before finals, he made a beautiful review sheet that was typed, color-coded, all that sort of thing, and he shared it with any student in AP Bio that cared to take advantage of that. And again, he just, again and again and again, I have accounts of Ray being very willing to share and assist others. The last little bit that I really want to read here was excerpted from a letter of recommendation that Chris Dager, who is longtime South teacher and coach, but he's teaching a section of AP Psych this year at Maine East, and Ray is in that AP Psych class. This is a little bit of what Chris had to say in regards to Ray. So I recommend you, with great enthusiasm, with no reservations whatsoever, one of the finest young men I've had the pleasure to teach in 33 years of private public school education. I've had a few students like Ray in my teaching career, and I wish to introduce to you a young man of great intelligence, a young man committed to his education, his school, and his peers, and a young man of great character and integrity. Some other very nice things, but I'm going to skip down here for a moment. As a student raised without peer in my AP class, his preparation for tests is superlative. He is usually the highest performer on the tests among the 5 sections that I teach. His writing style is breezy and fun to read. He has an ease of style that compels you to want to read more. The notes that he takes for the class are simply superb. I pass out a blank outline for the students to use, also as a way to check to see if my students are reading the text, and whether for both his own amusement or efficiency, Ray reformats the assignment and completes it in such a way that he could literally sell his notes to an academic support company for his academic. His notes are complete, concise, and easy to comprehend. Simply stated, they are marvelous. Seldom as a teacher had such a student as Ray Roman. My classroom, my desire to teach, my satisfaction therein have all been enhanced as a result of my time spent with Ray. His genuine ebullience in regards to life, along with his willingness to explore and experience it, is uplifting and infectious. His passion for what he does is apparent and visibly moves others to also do well. His kindness, respect, and concern for others represent the very best of what Maine East has to offer its students. To have the opportunity to teach and get to know one such as Ray is both an honor and a privilege for any teacher. I don't think I can possibly top that. So without any further ado, please, round of applause for So Ray, who's here with you tonight?
Here's my dad and here's my mom.
Hi.
And what are your plans next year?
I'm 85% sure that I'm going to University of Wisconsin-Madison. And I think I'll be studying my major in biology and maybe in minor architecture. I'm not sure, it's still in the works as far as I know.
Very good. Congratulations.
Ray, could you join the superintendent?
And a couple of party gifts for you. Congratulations.
Okay, Audrey.
It is my pleasure to reintroduce you to Angela Ramis, who was here also along with Ray for the NCTE Writing Awards. Angela is our nominee for 207's Best for Midwest. So you could have actually, Mr. Pressler, Dr. Pressler, been talking very much about Angela when you were describing Ray. I don't know that she's as nutty with her notes as you are, Ray, but her teachers were falling all over themselves in order to say, it's my honor to have Angela in my class. She's one of the best students I've had in 25 years. Mr. Harper, who is historically known as one of the toughest teachers in the school, could not say enough about Angela and described her as one of the best, if not the best student he's had in class. She's got such expertise in her classes. She gets perfect scores on her unit assessments. Teachers are rewriting their tests to make them harder for Angela, much to the chagrin of her peers, by the way. She's a history scholar. She's in the top 1% of her class. National Merit Commended student. She's a talented dancer in ballet. She's a violinist. She performed INEA choir. She's obviously a talented writer. She did extremely well in the national Spanish exam. I mean, come on, what else here? One of the neatest things that she was selected for was the State Department Bureau of Education American Leadership Program in Cambodia last summer. Just an amazing opportunity for this young lady, a human rights activist at this point. And Mr. Harper said that when he first met her sophomore year, Angela was very concerned about her grades, her participation in school, all about herself. And he saw an incredible change in her during her junior year into her senior year, where she became more interested in the rights of others and how she could help others, which is what really landed you in Cambodia, looking for what she could do for other people. So besides all those wonderful things she does at Maine West, she's just an amazing young lady, and certainly one of my favorite students I have ever encountered. Mr. Diviak, her AP Econ teacher, said he's the one who said he has to rewrite his test because she just nails them every time. She was also, Mr. Harper described her this way. He said, Angela is a prime example of what Abigail Adams meant when she said, learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence. And Angela is the type of student who wants to know more. She demands to know more and is just a joy to have in class. So all of her teachers recommended her very highly for this award, and I am very proud to know her personally and recommend her for this award. Angela Riss. Introduce who's with you.
My dad, my sister Anna, and my mom.
And your plans for next year.
I want to major in international relations, I think. I don't know where I'm going yet, but I'll figure that out eventually, I guess.
Do you have a top choice?
Don't think so.
Okay. Well, very good. You're going to be a wonderful addition to the population out there. Thanks.
Thank you, John. On behalf of the board, congratulations so much. Thanks for coming tonight.
Angela, congratulations. Good luck with all the choices coming up.
For Maine South, our 207's best this month is James Loomis. Stand up. Well, you don't fall into the category of academic excellence without taking just the most difficult courses that we can offer. I'm sure all of our honorees here tonight have done that. So I won't bore you with all the classes that Jimmy has taken, but he does have a GPA of 4.89, so he's in the top 1% of his class. I'm always struck, as Mike mentioned, by all of the other things that our kids who achieve at this level do. And so a few of those things that Jimmy has done, he's our president of our National Honor Society. So in addition to his other duties, he matches up NHS tutors with students in the building who need academic support. He's the editor-in-chief of our school newspaper, Southwards. He's editor of the Spanish section of our foreign language magazine, Reaching. He's a PE leader, a Hawk Pride leader, a member of the Constitution team, class council, and Model United Nations, and has won numerous individual honors as a member of DECA. Additionally, he's been recognized by the Daughters of the American Revolution by winning the Judith Snow Ethical Leadership Award. He's a Peggy Ross Best American History Scholar. He's been a finalist, placed second in the nation, and won the Teen Content Award from the Newspaper Association of America for one of his sports stories, and won the Rotary Youth Leadership Award. And when he's not doing all that, he also is a reporter for the Chicago Tribune's teen section called The MASH. He's interviewed people like Patrick Kane and Simon Cowell. His stories have been published by many major newspapers, including the Sacramento Bee, the Kansas City Star, and the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. He's also captain of the church basketball team, too. So it just goes on and on and on. But I'd also like to read what his teachers, who see him every day, have to say about him. Mr. Sadakis, who is here this evening. In the past 2 years, Southwards has begun to garner state and national accolades, and I know that these achievements are due in part to Jimmy's consistent effort. He has left a lasting impression on this publication, on his classmates, and on me. I'm proud to know him and proud of all he has accomplished. In June, Jimmy will be leaving our community better than he found it, which to me is the most important legacy a person can have. Mr. Trankel, a Constitution team coach, Jimmy is simply an incredible kid. I've never had a student so smart and driven, yet able to bring his classmates together and unite people. He's able to laugh at himself and the world. He's so humble, and it's sometimes hard to remember that he is capable of graduate school level thinking. Mrs. Mason, Jimmy's the kind of student that reaffirms my love of teaching. Ms. Kashgarian, simply said, when I ask what comes to mind when you think of Jimmy, fun-loving, leader, super friendly, refreshingly mature, smart, committed. Mrs. Clark states, you talk with any teacher who's had Jimmy in class, and club sponsor or coach, any adult or student who's had some contact with Jimmy at some point, and the accolades flow like water about this amazing individual. In my 25 years in education, I can definitely say that Jimmy is the most dedicated, most sincere, most accomplished, most kind, most brilliant student I have ever had. The immense pleasure to know, hands down. And I have to say, the first time that this young man walked through my office and saw him interact with the staff, I just said, what a nice kid. He once said to Miss Clark, when she asked him to describe himself, what would you say? And he just said, optimistic, stating, I always stay positive in any situation and try to find the silver lining. I know it sounds cliche, but I'm just a happy kid. I always have a smile on my face. And he does, absolutely true. And so when I think of Jimmy, and I've had a nice opportunity to interact with him this year, he's upbeat, he's positive, he's always looking for a way to solve a problem. He's never resigned to accepting the status quo when he knows there's a better way. And you couple that with his work ethic, and there's no stopping Jimmy Lewis. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Who's here tonight? What are some of your plans?
Both my mom and dad are here, and then as you mentioned, Mr. Stackis and Ms. Leakakis was also one of my former teachers. And next year I think I'm headed out to Boston for school and hopefully going to pursue a double major in political science and economics.
Jim? Nice try sitting down. Join the superintendent and board member fellow.
Where in Boston are you going to school, Jimmy?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm actually going to Harvard.
Actually, going to Harvard. Wait, yes, nice job.
Thank you.
Some school in Boston.
At this point in time, the students and the principals are going to go in the hallway and get a picture taken. All of you are, of course, welcome to remain here and see us conduct the business, but if you don't want to remain here, now is the perfect time to escape. Okay? Good to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Public comment. Come before the right.
Very good. Oh, come on, congrats.
Hearing none. Any updates from the board members? Superintendent?
I sent out in Friday notes, I think last Friday, just an outline of a trip that the combined, I think it's choir, band, orchestra, and South going to Ontario, Canada. As we previously discussed in terms of protocol, I would inform the board about those types of out-of-country trips, and if there was any wish to talk about them further, go in front of the board, that I would do that. I think this one's pretty well laid out in terms of all the information, but if you've got any questions, we've got enough time. If it's not until next year, I can bring more information back at a future board meeting if there's a wish to talk about it further. It is a band orchestra combined, so it would be considered one of our trips, but it doesn't require board action.
Last time we came up, we had a discussion about the stipulations and requirements. I don't honestly remember how it ended, but I thought that got kicked over to committee to kind of review the insurance aspects, trip cancellation. I know we worked out a waiver form for the parents to sign. Do we know at this point what our policies are for sponsored trips, if this is a quasi-sponsored trip?
It is a sponsored trip, and what happens on these trips, I believe, is that there's a certain upfront cost that they've got to collect, and depending on the timing, how far out you are, the conditions and things like that, there could be a general loss of funds if someone backs out of the trip. Like, my son went on a Germany trip a few years ago, got canceled, so he lost some money out of that. And I think, I don't know if Mary or Greg want to add anything to that.
I was wondering whether we were clear, because I really don't remember last time we came up, whether we were able to figure out what exactly our policy is. It seems to me that we had this discussion that, I remember, for example, some of the parents, we had a thing, it just wasn't clear at that time. And I think that kind of was not a sponsor, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But just whether, Greg, if we have a policy that we seem to have all the things that we talked about years ago. But, I can check. There's a waiver form.
We have all
Some
those.
reference to insurance, whether it's optional or not.
Yes.
A few other requirements. It sounds like a great trip.
Yeah. The problem with these trips is typically they're arranged through travel companies. There's no way
We
to
don't have a lot of flexibility.
You don't, and there's some risk involved with booking, so far out in advance if conditions change.
questions on the Canada trip? Okay, so we do not have Elvin here. Anybody who was at the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting on the 11th or the 26th, talk to us about it?
I was meeting on the 11th, it was actually, we met over at, Mays, this one?
Yes,
Mays?
that was
Yes,
easy,
yeah, and, went through the building looking at, areas that might need upgrades and work. I was not able to stay for the entire meeting, but I think it was very useful for the committee members, and there were some, members from, the
Advisory Council.
Community Advisory Council who were there to just see some of the problems and some of the issues that are gonna face us within the next couple of years at Mays.
Okay. Finance Committee meeting on the 19th. Eric is in here. Would you like to update us on that? Mayor?
Sure, I'll do it. At the Finance Committee meeting, we covered a number of items, many of which are in your board packet this evening. Some contracts for some technology upgrades, the information on the SCRIMP renewal, the broker renewal for our insurance broker, CBC, for fringe benefits. That was the bulk of the meeting. We also discussed a contract over $1,000, which is the athletic photography contract for Maine South, because they get a portion of the sales proceeds, as well as some free photos for the athletes. All that was recommended to bring forward to the board and is in the board packet this night for approval.
Mary, monthly status of finances.
In your board book is the November financial report. On the revenue side, we've got 48% of our revenue collected, and on the expenditure side, we've expended 41% of our funds for the year. Also in there is the second quarter budget update. As of the second quarter, it's no surprise, we're projecting a surplus of about $1.9 million. When we laid out the $1 million deficit in the budget, we said it was our goal to change that deficit into a surplus. It's still very early because our spring collection of taxes, a 1% difference in taxes is $1 million. So if we start to see a late trend in those, that $1.9 million surplus could completely go away, but we're looking at historical collection percentages. So I'll entertain any questions on either the December financial report or the second quarter budget update.
Okay, Mary, how about the SCRIMP report?
In your packet for information only is the SCRIMP renewal and then some information on a new workers' comp model and safety model that SCRIMP has implemented. The workers' comp model has, we contract for an exclusive workers' comp claim administrator that only handles our account. So gets to know our school, knows the types of positions, like duties and everything. And I think you can see from the information that even in year one, that change is really paying off in terms of reduced claims, reduced time off, and better and quicker treatment for our employees. On the safety, we also hired a safety manager who the buildings probably know very, very well, who comes around and once something happens at one of the SCRIMP schools, we address the issue across all of the member districts to make sure that a similar claim doesn't happen. On the renewal side, because we had, I don't know, like a pool explode and some other stuff, our allocation this year went up slightly, but kind of exploded a little leak. But it's still, as you can see from over several years, we're still under what we were paying in 2009. I'll entertain any questions on the SCRIMP information update.
Okay, hearing none. Mr. Superintendent, update on FOIA requests?
Past month of January, 2 received, 2 processed.
Okay. Okay, brings us to consent agenda. 6A through F, is there any request to separate anything out? Okay. He's pulling special board meeting January 26, 2012 out. So the motion would be on consent agenda 6A, January 9th, 12th, and 19th, and then B through F. Make that B through G. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Graham, second. Heller, questions or comments on the motion? Please call the roll.
Graham?
Yes.
McGrath?
Aye.
Heller? Miller?
Aye.
Sullivan?
Aye. We have a motion on the minutes for the special board meeting of January 26, 2012.
So moved.
Graham, second. Heller? Any questions or comments on the motion? Call the roll.
Graham?
Yes.
McGrath?
Abstain.
Heller? Miller?
Abstain.
Sullivan?
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Next item 7, corporate benefits consulting. Mary?
Before you this evening is a motion to approve the 3-year contract for employee benefits consulting with corporate benefits consultants Inc. at an annual rate of $51,000.
Okay. Is there a motion? McGrath, second. Miller. Questions or comments on the motion?
And this is one of the items that went through the finance.
Yes, the
Yeah.
finance committee is recommending it for approval.
These people are really terrific. They spend unbelievable time. They're usually the 2 people at the insurance committee meetings, which it used to be maybe 6 times a year, kind of down to 3 times a year, but they answer any question you have. They're really, they're just terrific in my opinion.
And just to make it clear on the motion, it's a 3-year contract at an annual rate of $51,000 a year. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Call the roll.
McGrath?
Aye.
Graham?
Yes.
Miller?
Aye.
Heller? Sullivan?
Aye. Next item is use of facilities, Maine East of Park Ridge Kiwanis Club and Park Ridge Recreation and Park District, and Illinois Old School AAV basketball. Recommendation is board authorized superintendent schools to enter the contract with the above listed organization as outlined in the January 12, 2012 and February 2nd, 2012 memos. Is there a motion, please?
Yes.
Graham. Second.
Aye. I second.
Second, Miller. Questions or comments on the motion?
Quick one, that the AA for the Illinois Old School, are they get a special rate anyway, like a feeder organization, or do they not
They
qualify?
don't because they're really class 3 because their coaches are paid. So that's why they're seeking the waiver, and for seeking the waiver, in exchange for the waiver, they're willing to donate 10 scholarships so that the students at Maine East can participate in the program.
And my question on that, I do have a question, do we have a mechanism in place to track to see that we are, and how are the students, do we have something, do we know how the students are going to be recommended for those?
Coach identified, and the coach is going to track it through because he's hoping that because this is not only a feeder, but I think it's a 6-12 program. So he'll be able to identify which of the students and which one. Like, let's say there's 20 students and they're all kind of the same economic. He'll take that scholarship and spread it amongst them all so that it's then a really reduced rate. Their goal is to increase the off-season participation of the Maine East basketball students.
Okay, so but we have a process in
Yes.
place to identify the students and to track to make sure that we
Yes.
are getting these benefits. Because I think if we are getting those benefits, it more than offsets anything we would get in terms of rental, and makes a lot of sense then.
Do you know if the program's exclusively for Maine students or people?
No, it's not exclusively. They're gonna draw from, I mean, their goal is to draw from the feeder schools, but they'll probably have some kids from maybe Glenview or Niles. They had this program in Niles, and a couple of the coaches split off and now are working with Maine East to kind of build this program here.
Do you know when the program is? And is it year-round?
It's
Is it
off-season, so it's in the spring and then also a session in the summer.
Could we ask you to get back to us with, will they track participation numbers of people from, I know on a feeder program, they don't know where they're going to go to school, they could go to Catholic school, they could go somewhere else.
Right.
But how many students relative to the whole body of students?
The other thing too, and Mark could probably answer this question, Ed, are there limits, an AAU team that forms in the off-season, aren't there limits on the number of kids from one school that can be on that team?
I believe there can't be more than 3.
That's what I was thinking. So this spans like, 6 years of, so they'll probably run teams at multiple years, but I think there are limits, which is why it wouldn't be just exclusively East kids.
But the scholarship
Scholarships are
is
just
exclusive.
boys
Exclusively,
and
yeah, the
girls.
scholarships would be exclusive to these kids.
And that's 10 full scholarships for remaining students
Yes.
per season, so.
Well, it's for either, they didn't delineate whether it's 7 for the spring and 3 for the summer, but the combined 2 programs they're offering, we get 10 spots.
It says per season.
Oh, per season.
And that would seem, would be 10 per
Yes.
season, otherwise it's just not gonna add, I mean, based on
Yes.
the tracking, it's not gonna add up to 1,750. And just to confirm, the rental rate on the gym, the ABCD gym, the entire gym is $25.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other
Just
questions?
to note that, I like how you had that comment at the, on the bottom of each of the pages here. Or, I don't know if it was there before, but it just seems useful to have that extra information.
Which counts?
At the bottom of, looking at, the waivers for the Illinois Old School, in the second part of the page, there's a comment at the background.
It is, I think Dino has worked with the coaches in putting this together, so the coach wanted to make sure some of their comments were incorporated in the.
I think that we find that very helpful, I find it very helpful.
Yeah, I did too.
Any other questions or comments?
Mary, just to tie that down, you do get back to us with the participation numbers and how.
Right, once,
at
and
the end of the
actually,
summer.
they're looking at this as a one-year program, because it's a new program, they wanna see how it works. So they're gonna track this very closely for this year. So a year from now, we'll come back, and before we were to approve a waiver for another year, we'll get that participation information.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Heller?
Yes.
Miller?
Aye.
McGrath?
Aye.
Graham?
Yes.
Sullivan?
All right. Mary, on number 9, capital outlay, do you have a dollar amount?
Yes, we do. The dollar amount on capital outlay is $298,059.46.
298,059.46.
Correct.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the capital outlay request as presented for $298,059.46? Heller, second.
Second.
McGrath, questions or comments on the motion?
And this is another one of the items that went through the finance.
Actually, this one's for buildings and grounds.
Okay.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
McGrath?
Aye.
Graham?
Yes.
Miller?
Aye.
Heller? Sullivan?
Aye. Number 10, wireless upgrades. The Board of Education approved contract for purchasing wireless infrastructure through Information Systems Groups, Inc. at a total cost of $316,948.85, which is $200,000 in additional funds plus $116,948.85 from the 2011-2012 technology plan, and allocating additional $60,000 for additional equipment wiring and switching associated with installing the wireless network. Total request for new funds is $260,000. Details are found in the appendices. Is there a motion, please? McGrath, second. Heller, questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Well, actually, can we have maybe just a little background? I read the material, but maybe Hank would like to talk about this.
Sure. About 5 years ago, we put in the first wireless one here across the entire district, at which time wireless was much different than it is now. The experts at that time thought we would never need more than 1,000 wireless devices at any one time connected. Now nearly everybody has at least 2 devices in their pocket, if not 3. So that, along with the age of the system and advances in technology, have led us to the point where we need to upgrade that system. And I believe we talked a little bit about it last year, and the idea that we would stagger this over a few years. But after some tests this year, we found out that the old technology and the new technology don't work well together, and it has to kind of be a comprehensive one-time upgrade.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Heller?
Yes.
Miller?
Aye.
McGrath?
Aye.
Graham?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Aye. Number 11, storage area network, SAN, data backups and disaster recovery. Requesting the board approve a contract to purchase a 3 SAN through Augmentity at a total cost of $230,911.80 and allocating additional $19,000 for additional equipment, wiring and switching associated with the SANs. Details may be found in the appendices. Is there a motion, please? McGrath, second. Heller, questions or comments on the motion? Hank, do you want to give us another quick summary?
Sure. The storage that we have available to us is, older than 5 years, it's about 10 years old. We've reached the point where we have no more storage left, which is starting to lead to some just bad practices. So this is enough to not only provide us the storage we need, but then to provide backups of it across the district, so that if we were to lose something in one building, it would be sitting in the other.
Redundancy is always fine. Any other questions or
Is
comments?
this storage on-site or?
Yes. There would be what they call a SAM, one of these storage units, at each of the 3 buildings, and at night, one would back up to the other, and this one would back up to that one, and that one would back up to that one, so that there's redundancy for each of the schools.
Any other questions?
And is this the one that Mark Livonia presented?
Yes.
Yes.
At the finance meeting?
Yes, it is.
So this one's been reviewed in committee, although the other one wasn't.
Thank you. Call roll.
Graham? Yes. McGrath?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Heller? Sullivan?
Aye. Motion carries. New course proposals. Barb?
This is not normally the time that we bring course proposals before you, but one of the positives from us looking at data and doing some analysis of what groups of students are not achieving state standards or struggling with certain competencies, and then what we're going to do about it is a reason for these course proposals coming forward at this time. So we're going to ask your indulgence on that and hopefully get your recommendation to go forward with these, or get your approval of our recommendation to go forward with these. The first proposal is from Maine South, and they're proposing to change the 2-year introduction to algebra / sophomore algebra to a 1.5 period 1-year sequence, serving the needs of about 120 kids that they identified would be served by this. And the second proposal is from Maine West for a group of about 30 targeted kids in a new course called Core Math. You've got the documentation provided in the board packet, and I've also invited Mark and Mike Smith here this evening in case you have some targeted questions for them. These are 2 interventions that we have discussed in our MCC, our math MCC at instructional team at some length, and I think that we're going to watch these and pilot them and take some data at the end of them to see whether or not they accomplish what the goals are that are identified here. Do you have some questions for our chairs?
No, there's a presentation, that's why there's no motion. So, are there any other questions before we make a motion?
The one in the south, it appears to be that it adds an extra half period, so it would be like extra. So you have, instead of, like in the line, it's out like 4 years in math, it would be 4 credits. So this would be an extra period and a half in the first year. If they continue, then there'd be, you get 2.5 periods after the second year, 3.5 periods after the third year, as opposed to 3, which would be more typical.
Is that accurate, would you
Yes.
say?
Correct.
Yes.
But one key change in is that that same pool of kids right now is sitting in the same course over 2 years.
Right. It's the preparing for eligible, right? That
So
happens.
they get ready for the Prairie State.
And as this, I don't like to do the remedial, but the 100 kids that have been identified, those are the kids who maybe are struggling, is that the
Yes.
concept?
Yes.
And ditto the program on the West for
Yes.
targeted.
Probably, I would say a group that's even lower functioning, because there are some of them taking, not even algebra 1 concepts, but pre-algebra, or even some elementary school math.
I was wondering, Barb, can you just talk a little bit about how you came to come up with this recommendation? You said it was based on data that you collected this year, I assume?
I'm going to let the gentleman speak to that, because I think they've spent a lot of time on this and are deserving some praise for their work.
Thank you. I can speak to our recommendation at South, in this very room actually, at a data retreat. We found that 96% of our students that had reached Algebra 2 or beyond by their junior year, IEP or not, met or exceeded the standard on the PSAE. And only 36% of students that didn't get to Algebra 2 met or exceeded. And that track would have been the introduction to algebra, sophomore algebra, plain geometry in the third year. And having not been exposed to any Algebra 2 prior to that high stakes test in their junior year, they just weren't meeting the standard. And so in the area, I mean, out of 40 schools, I think there are 38 that have an extended algebra as opposed to a 2-year algebra. So this is a rare proposal. In fact, East and West both have it. It is our hope that, I don't think we'll have 96% of our students in this extended track meet or exceed the standard by their junior year, but it's our hope that more than 36% will.
And at West, we've had the extended algebra for quite some time. In the beginning, we saw some great gains. Again, those kids weren't getting to the kind of the targeted class, the correct time. Part of that proposal was that students entering that class would take the summer pre-entry academy to get prepared for any high school type of class. And what's happened over the years is the percentage of students that are taking the summer course, even though we pick up the tab for it through grants and through the board, that number is getting more and more. And so this year in the extended class, it varies from year to year, but about 50% of the kids never took a summer class to even get ready for a high school curriculum of any kind. And so we've seen the number of students that are failing that our lowest level class just increase over the years. And so what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at the Common Core standards, the K-8 Common Core standards, and do an individual program for each kid in that class with the goal that they'll be successful in a high school math class the following term, whatever that is.
So you can do that individually for each student? You can.
That's going to be our goal. We're going to try to use, we've secured some of the older laptops that we have at the building. We're hoping to upgrade those, but even if we don't get an upgrade, we're going to be using the Khan Academy. We're going to be using Illustrated Mathematics, some NCTM sources as well. And with this transition of the state standards to the Common Core, more resources are coming daily. And there's a very nice series that are called the progression documents that take a skill from kindergarten through 8th grade and how it should be developed in kind of a in-sync way, as opposed to kind of how it's done now, where it's just random facts and what's the next unit. So we're going to be using that in a preparation as our K-8 districts move towards the Common Core and as we transition as well.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, now can we have a motion requesting the board to approve the new course proposals? These are effective ones. So for effective fall 2012. Charles, second. Graham, any debate, questions, comments, or motion?
Kelly, is there any cost in terms of developing the class that will be, happening over the summer to develop the
We'll put
class?
some curriculum money towards the development of that. And was there anything else in your request for summer development? Supplies?
We're actually going to try to run a small pilot of that this summer through our pre-entry academy for those low kids that do come to the summer. We're going to try out this curriculum, so we're going to try to have it ready for this summer. So I don't think there's any development needed because we're going to need to be ready for the summer. The only thing I mentioned in my proposal is eventually we'd like to upgrade a technology, some Chromebooks or something like that, but we'll do the class even if we don't get that upgraded.
Anything else? Hearing none, call the roll.
Graham? Yes. Miller?
Aye.
McGrath?
Aye.
Keller? Yes. Sullivan?
Aye, motion carries. Next item is calendar items. there's no school on February 20th. Our next regular meeting is March 5th. We do have a secondary March meeting that is still scheduled as the 27th.
That usually doesn't happen, right?
That usually doesn't happen, and probably won't this year.
Or we can cancel a week beforehand.
Yes,
or March
yes.
5th meeting.
Question. Is the finance committee meeting off the Thursday?
Yes, it is off, we have to find another day.
I'm trying to get hold of Eric, I'm targeting
I don't
maybe
worry
the
about
the week of the
No,
20th.
no, you don't need to worry about that.
Thursday.
Take Thursday
I'm
off.
gonna be around.
But I'm looking at, I asked him today if the 23rd worked for him, he didn't get back to me, but it's gotta be the week of the 20th, so.
And March 26th through March 30th is spring break. School is closed, but the offices, administrative offices are open from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Anything else for the calendar? Any other communications to come before the board? Okay, the administration requested that we go into closed session for the purpose of review of closed session minutes, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, dismissal of specific employees, probable imminent or pending litigation, collective negotiating matters, and setting a price for sale or lease of real property. Is there a motion? Keller, second. Graham, questions or comments on the motion? Call the roll, please.
Miller? Graham?
Yes.
Heller? McGrath? Sullivan?
Is it 7:47? Aye.
She called 7:48 now.
7:48, sorry.
Now, my feeling